This week on the Movies and Stuff show, we talk about Ian Ziering's Paycheck, trailers for Death Wish, Leatherface, and Mother, mini reviews of Dunkirk and the Emoji Movie, and then we'll do a review of the new indie movie, Brave New Jersey. Stay tuned. And welcome once again to the Movie and Stuff show. My name is Dan. Joining me this week, my co-host Abe and Marty.
Hey, what's up?
And also joining us, what is the third, fourth time?
Fourth, I think.
Fourth, I think.
Yeah.
Unless we're not counting at the debate show.
I love the debate show. That was my favorite one of all time.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You can see her name on the screen, but I'll pronounce it correctly. Leah.
Oh.
Actually, I'm going by Leah now.
Oh.
So
Off the show.
You forgot to ask for her preferred noun. So.
I should learn not to assume these things anymore. There's just so many things going on in the world about what you can and can't make assumptions about, and names is one of them. So
you can't assume anyone's name.
now it's Marty and Abby over here.
There you go.
There were people that, there are people at my wedding that only know me as Marty.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to, before the wedding, I had to explain to them, don't be shocked if you ask my mom about, hey, we love Marty or whatever. She, yells at you for calling me that. And they were, shocked that people call me Martin somewhere. It blew their mind. I thought it seems like a very standard, Daniel, Dan, Marty, Martin kind of thing. But for some reason, it blew their mind.
Not.
So names are a thing.
Names are a thing.
You got some real smart friends, huh?
Insightful.
Yeah.
So how's everyone doing? Good?
Yeah.
The world can end at any minute.
Yeah. I'm a little worried about Usher personally with this lawsuit hanging over his head.
It's got the herpes.
Yeah.
Rough.
Usher's handing out herpes to people that attend his concert, allegedly.
I was not aware.
Yeah.
You got to get on the Twitter or something there.
Yeah.
I know. I'm so fine on everything.
Yeah.
Abe's not on Twitter, and he knows it all, though.
Yeah. I do. Well, I follow Usher. I follow, I follow low talented R&B singers. So
Abe's on TMZ.com all day.
Getting the important news.
yes, that's where the actions happen. I don't want the fake news like what you guys digest.
Hashtag fake news.
Sad.
Hashtag fake news.
I watched the Death Wish trailer, so now I'm all right.
You did.
So,
You did. You're all you're all riled up. I guess we'll get to that in a little bit. So we got a great show lined up this week. We're going to actually talk about the brand new indie film, Brave New Jersey. Some of us liked it. Some of us didn't. So we'll get into that. Lots of stuff to talk about. So let's get into it. Topic number 1. Sharknado 5-star Ian Ziering. I can't say that with a straight face. Apparently made $500,000 for his role in the movie, which is almost double of what Gal Gadot made for Wonder Woman.
Oh.
Is there any justification you can make for this? And in no logical order whatsoever, Abe, we'll start with you.
No, there is no logical sense. Okay, but we're talking about base salary. We're not talking about bonuses and the profit sharing that she's going to get. She's going to make so much more money than him. This is just a headline to get people riled up. That's all it is. There's no basis to it whatsoever.
Disagree, but anyway.
Okay.
Leah?
I just don't get why there's 5 Sharknado. I enjoyed the first 2.
That's a broader question.
And that was fine, but no, yeah. I mean, she will make more money with the continuing ones, and yeah, she probably could have gotten paid a little bit more. But I also read that, for other superheroes' first movies, they made around the same amount that she did for the first starting movie. But I don't know. I mean, I'm all about equal pay for sure. I just don't think Sharknado. I just don't get that.
Marty, your thoughts?
It's an interesting. I mean, it's a funny thing they're going to keep throwing out. I guess. I'd like to know how much more he made than the other people on Sharknado.
He made a double of what's her name?
Tara Reid?
Oh.
Yeah, Terry.
That's probably more of the problem, I would say. But it's also a problem that Gal Gadot just made a bad deal, I assume, in her first. Because Wonder Woman, of course, was the first one, but she'd already been in BVS for a decent amount.
Yeah.
So her second deal should have been more, and I assume she's not going to make much more for Justice League either, because they filmed that already.
They already filmed that
a while ago. I assume now is going to start kicking in. But yeah, she made a pretty. But again, they kind of picked her out of nowhere as well. She had not been some kind of star actor. She had been the seventh person in the Fast and Furious movies. So it's not like she came in with some huge credit that she needed. They took a chance on her, really.
Yeah,
no, and it paid off, and it paid off for her as well. She's gonna cash in.
So I mean, she took this as a way to get her foot in the door and get the chance, and now she's gonna renegotiate that deal. Yeah. I just think my issue with it is the fact is that someone's going to pay Ian Ziering $500,000 to do anything.
And again, for him too, it's the fifth version, so I'm sure on the first one he made probably $50,000.
Right.
And that sci-fi exists kind of now on these stupid camp movies, and he was a part of that, building that. They don't really do any kind of real science fiction shit anymore. It's all these kind of camp, weird movies, and so he's They make this is one of the main things they make money off of. So I mean,
yeah, say what you will about Sharknado. I mean, technically, quote unquote, it's an established franchise right now, right? I mean, Wonder Woman, it was the first movie, right? Yeah. So I mean, I still disagree about giving Ian Ziering more than a bucket of quarters to do anything.
Performance, stellar acting.
It's kind of surprising they've kind of kept doing this with him. You would think at some point, because they're not actually doing better with these. Something like the ratings go down each time. I think.
Yeah.
With something like keep making them.
How much different is the next Sharknado going to be from the previous Sharknado?
I think this one they kind of tried to explain. I haven't watched anyone since the first one, but I think they tried to explain it this time. They had some kind of Indiana Jones vibe to this one or some shit like that. I heard, but again, they. That's probably the most they paid for. I don't know how much anyone, the production value is still shit on these things.
Well, that's another issue about it is apparently Ziering's salary is like a good chunk of the budget for the whole movie. Whereas if you look at Gal Gadot's, her base salary was fractional of what the overall budget was for Wonder Woman. Right?
Wonder Woman again, it's still making money too. It cleared $400 million, I think, domestic this week. It's over 700 something worldwide. It topped. It's going to beat out Guardians, and it's still in a lot of theaters. People are still going to see that thing.
Yeah, she'll make nice bonus off of that.
Oh yeah,
I'm assuming from the latest Justice League promo, it seemed like they reshot a lot to put her in more.
Mm-hmm. She's going to be in the Flash movie.
Yeah. That came out too last week. But
so she's the new Ben Affleck of this franchise.
Yeah. She's actually the new. She's like the Iron Man, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you worry that it's going to be overkill because DC is fucking up everything at this point.
Okay, so topic one, we all agree that Ian Ziering shouldn't have a job.
It's actually to keep with your theme of mispronouncing first names. It's actually Ian. He pronounces it.
Fair point.
Right.
Fair point.
Just so you know.
Okay. Is he the most successful person coming out of Beverly Hills 90210?
No, Shannon Doherty.
I don't know.
Or Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
What's she been in lately?
Noah Fana.
She's got a cooking show.
Haven't been able to do anything.
I mean, what else has Ion done?
This is enough.
This is it.
Harry hasn't done it. Jason Priestley got in a car accident.
Brian Austin Green wasn't he married to
Fox?
Yeah, that's the winner.
Fox. There you go. He's the winner. There you go.
He wins everything then.
He wins.
Sorry, spelling a bad reality show.
Say hi to the chat. So far, Robert Melee, Talia's there. Talia's sick of hearing about Wonder Woman, so it's perfect for us to move on to topic 2, where we will not be talking about Wonder Woman at all.
It's one of our most watched videos. We have to kind of keep mentioning.
It really is. Maybe that's why she's sick of people talking about it. Everyone's talking about the movies and stuff review of Wonder Woman.
It's embarrassing almost. I can't walk the streets.
Hashtag synergy. Topic 2. So a bunch of trailers came out the last few days. I think
Tuesday's a big trailer day. They dropped a bunch on Tuesdays.
So the 3 main ones that came out, you got Death Wish got dropped, and people already crying controversy, alt-right, and Let's keep in mind that it's directed by Eli Roth, but we'll get to that in a second. New trailer for the Leatherface movie, and people are just kind of watching it and seem to be confused by it. And I know Abe was, so we'll get to him in a moment. And trailer it just came out today, right? Was last night? Mother,
yeah.
Mother, the Darren
We had
Aronofsky.
talked about that on a debate show, I think, right?
Yeah, with the poster, and we'll probably review that when that comes out in September. And I already had our Austrian friend proclaiming it's going to be the worst film of the year, but we'll
Stefan does not like a lot of things.
He does not like a lot of things, specifically Aronofsky. Let's go around the room.
He's a fraud.
See what your thoughts are on these trailers. Leah, start with you.
Oh.
Ooh. Well, I watched. Yes. Okay. Starting off with Death Wish. I watched the trailer before I realized that there was any controversy with it, and then I was mostly just confused. I mean, it just seemed like people were making another movie with Bruce Willis killing people because he's good at that or something. I don't know. I didn't really. I don't want to see it. It doesn't look interesting to me. I feel like I've seen that movie a bunch of times before. A guy wants to get revenge on his people who killed his wife, but then it came in with this music of like. It's gonna be a badass, funny movie.
AC/DC comes in,
yeah, with fucking AC/DC. It didn't match the tone of what the beginning of it seemed like, and then apparently there's all this controversy surrounding it, which I didn't get from just watching the trailer. Maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't know. I just think it's kind of silly. But so that
was Death Wish.
That's Death Wish. What was after Death Wish?
Leatherface? Did you watch that one?
Leatherface. Yeah, I did watch that one. I think I've seen one Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the one with Jessica Biel. Pretty sure that was Texas.
That's not the one.
That was
not the one to say.
Oh, it's like the only one. I hate horror movies. I get nightmares, so I don't.
You should watch the one with Matthew McConaughey, right? It's the only one that matters.
And Zellweger.
Zellweger's in that one too.
She's in that one. Well, I don't care about it, so I didn't. It looked. I was reading comments and people were like, "Oh, this looks so great." Okay, I think it looks stupid, but that's just me. And then the last trailer, Mother. I'm a pretty big Jennifer Lawrence fan, so this looks interesting, and I'm interested in it, and I'll probably see it. But I don't know. I liked Death or Black Swan. So I'm interested to see what else this guy's got, but I don't know.
Marty, we'll start with Death Wish. I mean, so basically, there's a lot of people saying that it looks like an alt-right film, and that having an old white guy shooting black kids just doesn't seem right.
That's been done, so it's not like. I remember tweeting it out. You can see all these trailers at Movies and Stuff Show on Twitter. I tweeted them all out. I remember when I first saw it, like I said, what Leah said, it's like it seems like it's this movie where he's going after the people who killed his family, and then he's like doing funny quips and shit to the killers. So it's like, all right, what do we? How did we switch that quickly? So now you're just this like funny crime fighter guy. It just seems. I don't think Bruce Willis knows how to not do shit movies anymore. So I think that's just now he can't take anything serious, I guess. So he's just gonna bullshit his way through these action movies. And Roth, like, he's hit or miss. So I'm not gonna run out to see that one. I'm with Leah again. I'm not a huge horror fan, and I was really confused by the Leatherface one. Is it theatrical release? Is it straight to DirecTV? I wasn't really sure what was happening there, because the acting on it just looked pretty shit. What was it? What's the kid's name in this thing? He's not even a kid anymore. He's really old. The cop. He's the jerk off that does the smoking, like the e-cigarette commercials these days.
Oh, Stephen Dorff.
Stephen Dorff.
Yeah, I had to Google that one. I forgot him.
He's not getting me out to the theaters or to get DirecTV anytime soon. And, Mother, though, looked interesting. I know. Remember when we talked about this a couple months ago? They just put the poster out with the Mother
on Mother's Day. They put it
on
out,
Mother's Day. It was very kind of, you didn't know what it was about, and it's you know a little bit more about what it's about now, but not a lot. It's kind of a thriller horror kind of thing. Jennifer Lawrence. might be a bit too young to be with the rest of this cast. I'm not sure how that's going to work out.
Apparently, that's part of the plot I saw.
I guess they're going to have to work that in because her husband, I forget his name.
Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem is much older. Michelle Pfeiffer though looks good in it. She was in. She's kind of segueing into some better roles these days. She was in that Madoff movie on HBO. She's really good in that. And the husband was her husband, or whatever the guy she was with.
It's Ed Harris. He's from
Ed Harris again.
In Westworld right
now.
Yeah,
great cast. Aronofsky, I'm not always a fan of, but he's it's coming out I think in October, right?
September. I think it's September.
Okay,
yeah,
so it's not going to have much.
Yeah, it's September 15th here.
Yeah, so it could do well there. There's not a whole lot of competition right then. So of the three, that's the one I'm most interested in seeing. Death Wish looks like it's a straight to TNT movie, and the Leatherface. I'm still not sure if that's even going to be theatrically released. It seemed like another video on demand movie we'll be reviewing and shitting on in a couple of months.
Abe,
yo,
these three trailers. What do you think?
Well, I got to say, of the three, Leatherface is the one I'm actually really the most excited to see.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Those two directors, I can't pronounce French, so I'm just not even going to try. The two guys who directed the French version of Martyr.
Okay. Wait. They're doing this?
Yes, that's who's directing Leatherface. Yeah, the guys who made Martyr.
That's going to be violent as hell.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait.
It definitely looked violent.
Yeah,
so I'll give it that.
And I'm really confused about it as far as does it fit in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre timeline? In Texas Chainsaw Massacre beginning, we saw him construct the face out of the boyfriend's face.
Yeah.
And we already saw his origin story. He was Moses. He got thrown in that dumpster to prevent from being killed, and then somebody found him, the old woman, and raised him. So I'm just really curious how this all fits in the timeline. Is this a reboot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
It almost seems like it's like the prequel of the revamp of the latest Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
So now we can have crossover Texas Chainsaw Massacres and different universes. Yeah, yeah. Gunnar Hansen versus this guy. That'd be awesome.
Gunnar Hansen passed away, right? He's no longer with us. Yeah. So R.I.P. Gunnar Hansen.
All right, moving on. Mother. Yeah, I'll see it. Maybe I'll see it. If I get forced to see it on here, I'll see it. But
you'll see it on here.
I'll just pass. I'll just pass on that.
Yeah. That's why you see most movies, to be quite honest.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm definitely so sick of franchise movies, I would not watch a goddamn one of them. But I do it for this.
You do it for love. You love the show.
Yeah. Death Wish. I'm
Death Wish. Yeah.
Color me kind of curious to see this. I think Eli Roth is actually developing to be semi interesting. The Green Inferno was it? It Green Inferno? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found that to be kind of out there, and I'm curious to see what he can do with Death Wish. I'm just really curious. I can never understand Twitter at all. If a guy goes out and kills bad guys, he's all right. If a vigilante goes and beats up people that are in line to go see somebody talk, they're heroes. I can never figure out Twitter ever.
Well, I think it's also because Bruce Willis, who's leaning right these days, so that might have helped along. But again, this is not a new story. We've seen Clint Eastwood do this.
Well, we've seen there was 4 Death Wish or 5 Death Wish before. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And color me confused about this is if I recall, is Eli Roth played the Bear Jew.
Yeah.
In
Inglourious Bastards.
And I love Inglourious Bastards. So
I'm pretty sure he's fairly liberal.
Yeah.
And him doing an alt-right movie, if he's doing an alt-right movie, it would be to make fun of the alt-right movement if he's going to do anything. I didn't see it. I didn't, it doesn't look like an interesting movie to me, and I like Eli Roth, I do, but this didn't do anything for me. I didn't see anything that was screaming alt-right. I think again, a lot of people just taking something revenge. Too far.
If you had made if it wasn't Bruce Willis, if it was a black guy running around killing people, they would have lost their minds too. This was a no.
Oh yeah,
there was a no. This was a no-win. Yeah. So
maybe it's just a bad trailer. Maybe the trailer.
It's a horrible trailer.
I mean, it is a bad trailer, but I don't know. Maybe the movie itself is probably
changes. It changes scope of the movie in the middle of it. It's like what is this?
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at this. Look at any of the Punisher movies and essentially say it's like, that's alt-right apparently.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then the last
Punisher code for anything I don't like. I don't like this. It's all right. I saw a spider the other day. It gave me the creeps. I said, oh, that's all right.
I punched that spider right in his Nazi face.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
All right. Last topic. Couple mini reviews here. I'll start off. It's not this past weekend. I guess the previous weekend, opening weekend, I saw the Emoji Movie. Took my daughter, and she liked it. That was one of us that liked it. I didn't find it, very funny or interesting at all. But I do have to say that, it's definitely not as bad as that 6% Rotten Tomatoes score that it's getting. I think that's way too harsh. It's not a bad movie. What this movie is just, it's a hodgepodge of more interesting kids movies that have been done better, and this is just kind of whittling it down and doing it in that half-assed Sony kind of way. So it's not terrible. It's just there's no point to it. There's no real vested interest in seeing the characters do anything other than make poop jokes, and they don't even do that as well as Captain Underpants did, which I still feel is like the funniest kids movie I've seen in ages. But again, my kid liked it, so what does it really matter if I didn't like it? I think the interesting thing is 2 weekends ago it was going kind of neck and neck box office wise with Dunkirk. And Marty, you got to see Dunkirk. So what do you think of Chris Nolan's latest movie?
I really enjoyed it. I got to say, I wanted to see it in IMAX or the Dolby or whatever, but I didn't get a chance. I just saw it regular, and it's still probably the loudest movie I've ever been to. The gunfire, the ships, the boats, it's just so startlingly loud that it puts you in the moment. It puts you in that on that beach in that water where all these soldiers are basically just waiting to die, essentially. It's a story, it's World War I, pre-America's involvement, when it was not going well, and the Germans had blockaded them off and kind of just trapped them on this beachfront in Dunkirk, and they're just waiting there for boats, and every time a boat came, it would just get bombed. And every time, you see soldiers who are fighting their way against each other, against their allies. There was this whole thing where the British soldiers wouldn't let the French people on the boats, even though, they're supposed to be on the same side, but it was just so basic human, fighting for their lives kind of stuff at some point. It's a different storytelling device that he just kind of puts you right into the action and doesn't, get you bogged down with any one character more than the other, doesn't try to tell too much of a story, just puts you right into this action. It's an hour and 45 minutes. So he's not trying to tell you the whole story of the war. It's just this one moment where these people are just desperate and waiting to die almost. It's like, it's this crazy thing. You see these soldiers all lined up on this beach waiting for a boat, and every once in a while just a plane will come by and drop bombs, and they get down, and some of them get up and some of them don't, and then they just stay in line. And it's that kind of just craziness you're watching. And it's not a great movie making storytelling type thing, but you're seeing what really happened to these people, and it's an insane thought to think that this actually happened. People get on boats, they think, oh, we're safe. Then the boat gets bombed, and they're swimming to the next boat, and it goes on and on and on, and there's no real star. There's people you'll notice, of course, but there's no real star to the movie. The biggest name is what's his fucking name? I forgot.
I didn't even notice anybody. Recognize anybody in this movie.
Kenneth Branagh, you'll notice he's one of the commanders.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, he needs. Tom Hardy is the pilot that you stay with for most of the time. So there's a couple of the standard Nolan actors. The guy from the guy from the Batman series who's Scarecrow.
Oh, yeah.
Cillian Murphy.
So he's in it, and he plays kind of this guy they find that the civilian ship finds in the water, and he's just shell shocked and ruined, basically. And there's a happy-ish ending, but it's not that happy because they're just still going to the next thing, and but it's definitely worth seeing in a theater. If it's still out there for now, it's still doing well. It made all its money back. I see. It's like double what it didn't cost too much. I think it cost like $150. It's already made like $300 or so worldwide.
You want to touch on the controversy?
Which was
the AV Club and was it Marie Claire? All talking about how lack of diversity really hurt this movie. I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
I
don't know how you can say that. I mean, it's British soldiers. I don't know what you would really want from that. Again, there's just a controversy looking for itself. I can see why some people. I know my father went to go see it, and he didn't love it because, I guess at some point, as you know, you're seeing British soldiers. Some American people don't care as much. I guess when it's not their own. I can see that being an issue because it's not a well-known. World War I is not the sexy war. It's World War II is the more famous one for movies. But I really enjoyed it. The sound just blows you away. It's just moments of quiet, then just you're startled throughout the movie.
Nolan had a hard time. Like, remember all the shit he took for Interstellar? The mix was bad. You couldn't quite hear what people were saying, and he said that was intentional. Is he still going with that way? Can you hear what people are saying?
You can hear it, but you can have a problem because it's a heavy British accent at times. I'm not going to lie about that, so it is hard to tell. But I mean, that's it's realistic, so I can't fault him on that one. And it's also, I'll give it one thing I was kind of confused by. He kind of mixes timelines a bit, going from he tells like 3 or 4 different group stories, and they kind of intertwine at the end. But at some point, you're not always sure where we are in that time, in that timeline. Because you see a guy in the water, then on the boat, then he's back in the water again. So you're not always exactly sure what time you're in. It all comes together at the end. But there are moments when you're like, okay, when are we? Because it's like night, then day, then night. And so that takes some getting used to. But just as a movie watching experience, I really recommend it.
Did you see it regular theater, or did you get to see it in
I did, and I think it would have been too much. I think if you saw it in Dolby.
Yeah.
Regular standard, the little local theater, and it's just startlingly. It's just from the first gunshot, you're like, shit. All right. But yeah, I mean, unlike Abe, I really enjoy Nolan's work, so I wanted to go see this one, and I enjoyed it.
Cool. Very good.
We are right at 9:30.
We are pretty much right at 9:30. We have stayed on focus. Anyone who is joining us now,
what are they downvoting everything?
Downvoting everything. So thanks for watching. Thanks for downvoting. It's cool. Please make sure to subscribe. I mean, if you're downvoted or upvoted, please make sure to subscribe to us if you aren't. So then you can come back every week and then downvote us every week. We're fine with that. I am completely fine. Just hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
Subscribe to us.
I would like to know why they downvote in the comments. I mean,
I'm assuming that they're fans of that new Leatherface trailer, and they were very upset with us.
Or a lot of DirecTV people are in there.
Maybe it's the VOD
it was
people.
Mark Wahlberg. It was Mark Wahlberg attacking us.
It's quite possible. Maybe it's Ian Ziering. Ian is watching.
Right there counting his money.
All his friends.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make you sick though that Ian Ziering has more money than you? I am very upset by this. This upsets me.
I feel like I'm such like I could act better than he could, and I don't have I'm younger but yeah. God.
He still looks good though. I gotta give it to him.
Well,
he's
Botox
making a living out of a career that I want, and I'm like, come on.
I can't wait to see you in Sharknado 12.
Thank you, Abe.
I think she can do it. I think they're gonna have to kill Tara Reid, and then Leah could take over. For
Sharknado, where you at? I'm right here. I'm waiting.
Would you take that role? You would take that role. Come on,
I would
don't lie.
totally take that role.
You would take that role.
I would 100% take that role.
Well,
I guess maybe depending on where I was at. I'm not like Meryl Streep status. You don't take that role.
But take the role.
For me right now, I would 100% take that role.
Well,
it'd be fun.
Aaron Spellinger's company will find you one day, and you can go off and do that kind of stuff.
Awesome. All right. Main topic for the evening is indie film review of Brave New Jersey. I want to say Brave New World. I keep saying in my head. Brave New Jersey is a comedy about a small New Jersey town on the night of Orson Welles' legendary 1938 War of the Worlds radio broadcast. I think the interesting concept about this is that it doesn't really focus in on the broadcast itself, but kind of the aftermath. It focuses on this town and how they react to it, and that's something I really haven't seen before. I really enjoyed this. I had a fun time watching it. I like to see the different reactions to the people. You have the asshole kind of husband that's just like ditches his family because he thinks the world's over. You have the priest that kind of starts saying is like, maybe God isn't real. Maybe this is all kind of BS, and has kind of a crisis of faith, and all these other people in the town and how they're reacting to it and wanting to fight, and you have this mayor of this very, very small town who's less of a mayor and more of like the town handyman, and him dealing with it and trying to find some love. So there's a lot of things going on in this movie. Start with you, Abe. What were your thoughts about it?
I was actually surprisingly towards it. I didn't hate it. I didn't really enjoy it. I thought it was very, almost shockingly unambitious. I thought
really?
I really did. I thought it was just like, wow, this is what you're doing. Like limp is how I described it when somebody asked me what it was like. I said,
wow.
I said this. And one critic wrote, because I was really having a hard time crystallizing my thoughts on this one. One critic wrote, this is like a bad Prairie Home Companion sketch. And I was like, that's exactly what it is. This is Lake Wobegon. This is Garrison Keillor telling a not a very good story. But I mean, I don't know. I was surprised at how unambitious it was.
Marty.
Yeah, I got to say I agree with Abe on this one. It just didn't. Like you said, the premise is interesting. It's doing something with the War of the Worlds as opposed to just retelling the War of the Worlds. But then it just became a standard. What would you do if you had X amount of time to live story? It's not really about anything else. You've seen this story 1,000 times. Anybody who any movie about someone getting sick or some kind of disaster movie where people know they're going to die soon. And again, they didn't really do much. The priest kind of like he had already kind of before it happened, I thought was more about not caring about his faith or anything. And then once this happened, he kind of refound it through the Bible. There was the one woman from Pitch Perfect who gets hit on the head, I guess, and just becomes a butch kind of lady after being a nice school teacher before that, and then she kind of cheats on her husband and runs leaves him. He was a jerk off anyway, but it didn't matter.
Spoilers.
Oh, I thought we were doing spoilers.
We should tell people. We should tell people
we were doing spoilers.
Yeah. And it just, like I said, they didn't do it. They just kind of it wasn't funny. I didn't think. I never laughed. And it was just odd. It was like the town of State in Maine, that movie, without any of the comedy from Alec Baldwin. I found it. It was they didn't do anything to make me feel like it was even 1938, to be quite honest. Even down to the wardrobe. The wardrobe seemed like modern day. They didn't speak any really differently. There was a weird Polish kid for some reason.
Oh, I don't know. There's some kind of war going on.
I mean, I guess, but
yeah, it's not like a bunch of Polish people left the country to come to the United States.
And then, like, they just kind of there was a lot of messaging going on, and it was fine, but it was just kind of like, all right, I've seen that everywhere else. It just felt like an ABC Family movie to me when I was done.
Yeah, it felt like it was trying to be Christopher Guest without the talent.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, it's a message about industry and a message about living life to the fullest, and it's like, all right, just be funny. I would rather. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I found it funny. Leah, what about you?
I shouldn't let what you guys are saying. I'm going back thinking through it because I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I absolutely really and I loved watching this movie. But as you're going back through and when you guys were saying
don't let them change your mind. Don't do it. They're bad influences.
Wow, I don't know. I feel like my entire life is a lie now. I don't know. I don't know what's real and what's not. It's radio. Yeah. No, I had a really fun time watching it, and yes, I think it definitely was predictable. Like I hadn't heard of this movie before, and I watched the trailer before I went to it.
Right.
Yeah. But even after just watching the trailer, though, I was very excited to watch this movie. I like knew right away from the trailer that it's a movie that I would enjoy, just because I guess I liked the actors in it, and I just liked almost the silliness of it. I feel like because I was reading some of the reviews online, and they were saying that it didn't quite find its footing. It couldn't decide if it wanted to be silly or if it wanted to be more serious, and it had a mix of those. But I think the sillier moments worked, and I think that is kind of more what it was trying to go for, just with kind of the randomness. Dogs. And now, but yeah, I don't know. Now I'm thinking back through it. The character of the school teacher, Sunday school teacher who cheated on her husband, fiance,
Anna Camp.
Anna Camp, yes, she confused me because I don't know, I couldn't quite tell what they were trying to do with her character. If they were trying to be like, yeah, feminism, men suck, you should be able to do what you like, but then it's like, oh, she just hit her, but then she was kind of a jerk.
I think it was a story about CTE. They're trying to talk about concussions.
Yeah, I mean, is that what, so there's brain damage causes lesbianism? Is that what they're saying?
Stop.
That's exactly what they're saying.
Okay.
But
and then the wife, Heather Burns character. I've seen her play that role like 5 times or something. I don't know why. She just seemed like the same character in everything I've ever seen her in. This kind of odd, bullish, kind of put upon wife, and then she makes the right decision at the very end. But she was, I
don't think
I think that's what this movie's all about. Is making decisions and faced with your mortality and. I'll give you the example with the school teacher, right? You can see from the very first scene when her fiance shows up at the school, she doesn't want to be with this guy, but it's kind of like it's the right thing to do. It's the proper thing to do for this time. I guess I should just be with him and settle. And you can see that from the very moment of their interaction, and then as the movie progresses and they're faced with this possible like end of the world scenario, she's like, fuck it, I don't want to be with this guy, I want to do fun stuff and live my life. And it's a situation that a lot of people, especially women, were put in during those times. They got married because it's like, oh, it's the thing to do, right? This is what people are, my expectations.
But she was like, but it wasn't like she's being brave and excited about her new life. She was just being mean and just kind of bitchy about it.
But I think that's fine, because that was giving her the opportunity to do something that wasn't expected of her, right? She was expected to fit in this little square mold.
It's the position that Meg Ryan found herself in with every Tom Hanks movie.
I found that interesting, though, and even faced with like the end of the world scenario, you see the people showing their true colors, like the husband guy that's like, screw you family, I'm out of here. Like,
well, he apparently, I guess he had another life, it seems, right?
Yeah, he had a girlfriend or something on the side.
But he was kind of the big businessman who was telling the mayor what to do and bringing in the
cow milking machine.
Machines.
Yeah.
So again, it was talking about big industry and shit like that, but it's just, I don't know. I just felt we've seen those stories so many other times that they could have done something different with this.
Yeah.
I kept expecting someone to die. Like, I really thought that like people were gonna get like accidentally murdered at the end with all the gunshots and stuff.
The Polish kid. I was expecting that Polish kid to get shot. There's one scene in the woods where, I turned to my wife and I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna kill the kids. I'm like, I hope they don't kill the kids.
And again, with that, they kind of the woman you're talking about, she didn't seem like she was having some kind of awakening. She seemed like she got hit in the fucking head and she was acting crazy.
That's what they played it off as at the end, but I don't think that was the case.
But again, she was like going around with a gun, like looking at, but it wasn't that she was like, I'm going to live my life. It was like she really thought the alien thing was happening and she wanted to go fight aliens.
A lot of people did. And I mean, that's the point of it.
That's a little overstated now. They know now, looking back, that not very many people actually believed it's real. A lot of people complained about it, but not a lot of people believed it was real. That's been kind of debunked a little bit.
I mean, to the capacity of the legend, it's been debunked. But there were people that did legitimately tune in, listen to a couple minutes of it, and freak the fuck out. I mean, there are people that did that.
I love Orson, but the sad truth is his radio show was actually very poorly listened to. Nobody listened to Orson Welles' radio show. The competitors would kick his ass.
I guess that's why I liked the trailer, because I liked the idea of this small town that just goes off the wires as they hear this. And I just love that idea for a plot device. And I was just very excited to see how they played out the story. And I thought it was, I mean, it's not groundbreaking or anything like that, but the jokes were silly and the characters, although I did keep thinking of Buster while watching.
Yeah, it was tough not to say where's his other hand? I mean,
it's just his face. Like sometimes he gets into that kind of, I don't know, kind of like dumb face where his eyes just start to wander and all I can hear is Buster. But I actually liked hearing his normal voice.
Well, I guess we didn't say Tony
singing.
Hale. Tony Hale is the mayor character.
Yep.
Mayor, sorry. And I can see where he wanted to...
He's pretty much the biggest name. I guess it's him and...
Yeah, and I can see why he wanted to do something different. He kind of plays these silly characters in Veep and the rest of development. But I don't think he works as a straight man.
I thought it worked in this role. I thought it was something that he's not used to, and I thought he did fine. Because in the same essence, he has some of the same... kick the man while he's down attributes as Buster. I mean, here's this mayor who's the mayor. It's just like, oh, hey, mayor, go fucking paint this sign.
Right.
He's like, okay, I'll do it. He's a nice guy, genuinely nice guy. And,
it was 500 person town. They had the population thing on the sign.
300. I think it was 300 or 350 or something like that. Yeah, it was a small town.
Yeah.
And I agree with Dan. I thought the acting was good. I thought he was good. He plays a really good put-upon kind of guy. Yeah, just everybody dumps on him. Yeah, and he can take it.
And he's got a lot of great facial expressions.
Yeah.
He even if I'm like on the IMDb page right now, and they have like just this look on his face is just like.
I would have liked to see more from the sheriff character. I don't know, like
he's good. I like him. Is Mel Rodriguez? He was
the only guy that was like funny to me. I thought
but he only had like
Better
2 or 3
lines.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah,
he needed some more face because he had like 2-3 lines and thing.
Yeah, and he was good when he was on screen, and then the
old guy,
Captain Collins.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting role, and and same thing. Like he knew it was BS from the start.
He was that was his moment to kind of
shine, if you will.
To live, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. He was. I guess he was a World War I.
Well, to be relevant again.
That's fine.
That's a sad thing about this whole movie. Is you're talking about World War I? Is this guy comes back and they think he's some kind of fucking freak, and here he is, a war hero, and they're going through his house and they realize hey, this guy's like a really important person, and we wrote PP on his mailbox.
I liked the kids. I would have liked to have seen more of the kids. I thought I literally laughed like so hard every time she would walk up to they housed all the school children in a schoolhouse, and every time someone would knock on the door, they all just start screaming because they think it's the alien. I don't know why I thought that was like the funniest thing ever. But I would have liked to have seen more of the kids, like in maybe like kind of Super 8 type thing.
I think that would have been wonderful. Yeah, I think that would have worked really, really well.
Because I liked the kid actors that they had. They were great. I mean, you just have this Polish kid who doesn't fucking speak English. and then the girl, and I liked that a lot.
The one girl, Grace Kaufman, I'm trying to see what else she might have been in.
She's good.
Nothing really. A lot of like VOD, the video movies.
I think she's on a TV show with
she does some cartoon voices.
Matt LeBlanc. Oh no, I think she's on that Man with a Plan show with Matt LeBlanc. I think she plays the daughter, maybe.
That'll be off soon.
That poor girl.
The priest was another guy from Veep.
Oh really?
I love.
Oh wait! She plays the voice of Dima from Bubble Guppies. I mean, come on.
Cashing them checks.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about now.
But yeah, the priest was a.
I've
only seen him on Dan Backdown, his name.
Yeah,
he plays a congressman on Veep, and he's just like a complete fucking jerk off.
So funny in that. Yeah. He's so good.
And I was hoping he kind of would keep being like a crazy person in this movie, but then he just kind of became a priest too quickly. And
I don't know. I like that scene. I like the scene where you have the one dude who's kind of freaking out in the shed with the gun. The guy, I think the character's name was Stan, and he's freaking out in the shed. I've seen him
in a few things too. I'm trying to figure out what it was.
Is it really?
He was in Barbershop. That's what he's in. He was in Barbershop. Yeah.
No.
But I liked him as a kind of priest, like fuck it, I don't know.
Well, because I mean, honestly, that's part of it, isn't it?
But then he tried
isn't that the part of faith? It's like you don't know It's you have faith in something. You're trying to believe it, and when something like this challenges your faith, you either go, I really don't fucking know, or you say or follow it blindly. And I thought that was genuine for him to say. It was like I don't know. I'm in the same boat as you. Just because I'm a holy man doesn't mean I have these exact answers. I have a book. I follow this book. This book doesn't say anything about aliens, so maybe it does. No, I like the characters. I thought all the characters are good. Maybe it's more of a character study than it is a complete film.
I don't think anyone acted badly. I just wish they had more to work with. I
agree with that. Yeah. Thinking like towns where there's quirky characters, and thinking like this should have been more northern exposure or something like that.
Yeah,
with more interesting arcs and more, a little bit something clever, just something clever in there.
Yeah, there was no crazy guy going on. It was just kind of bland. It was just.
I was surprised at that. Yeah.
I guess I was kind of expecting like more like a fight between like the people who are all at the church and were like, oh yes, this is God coming to save us, and then the people like, let's fucking kill the aliens. I was kind of expecting there to be some sort of clash between the two of them, like the people who were like, welcome aliens, and the people who wanted to kill them.
Even if you had killed the old guy at the end accidentally somehow, that would have been.
Or dies of a heart attack.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Because the ending was just, they didn't really have an ending. It was just like, oh, they woke up the next day. It's like, oh,
they did. The big thing was with the fireworks and them charging the aliens, and that was the big kind of crescendo, and realizing that it was fake was, they at that point they're like, oh shit, this is stupid, and then they wake up the next morning and it's kind of validated. The fact is that now they have to recover and figure out all the bad things. It's like you think you're gonna die, and you do all these bad things, and then it's like you don't die, and it's like, now I gotta face tomorrow. And that's how they wake up. They wake up and they face that day, and it's just like,
But no one had even done anything too bad, other than the one woman leaving her husband.
The dude left his family and had to come back and basically say, no. I was going for like rescue. The school teacher.
Other than those two, though, no one did anything unforgivable.
Well, there was looting. The town got destroyed. They make reference of that there was,
but they're all killing their own. They're robbing themselves at that point. It's a 2-horse town for them.
It's New Jersey. A rundown town would look normal to theirs. Come on.
All right. It looked fine to me.
Yeah.
Looked like my hometown. They filmed in Tennessee. It looked just like Keansburg does today.
They didn't have a real. They didn't have a real name for it. It was. That they made up a town, I thought was odd.
Dude, what was it? What did they call it? I thought they said
Lullaby.
Oh, Lullaby, yeah. But they said it was near a real town, I thought.
Near the town that got supposedly attacked.
Yeah, it was like an hour away or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mentioned Marty about like it didn't really look like it was in the 1930s, and I do kind of agree. I thought that was interesting. Like, and I don't know, there were like a couple shots where they like blurred out the edges to make it look like like an older picture type thing, but then I don't know, like I didn't mind the cinematography. There were a couple of shots like where I was like all the stuff in like the moonlight and like the lighting I thought was really good, but I agree, like the costumes and everything, like it definitely did not feel period to me at all.
See, I kind of feel that it felt more of, and my wife pointed this out too, the way that it looked, it felt more like we're watching a stage play. Like the costumes were more stagey, and maybe it's, again, budget. This is the guy's first movie, by the way, the first feature film, the director's first feature film. So I'm sure the budget was quite low. I know that they did a Kickstarter to try to raise some funds for it.
$50K is what they raised.
Right. So I mean, this was kind of a tight budget film, so I can imagine that the costumes aren't going to be top of the line. But it felt more like a stage production, and even the opening shots, like the depth of characters, it felt like you were watching this on a stage as opposed to a movie.
Yeah, I didn't say it looked cheap or anything. There was no real effort, I don't think, to make it feel like it was 1938, even down to the way people talked.
Well, the cars looked like they were from 1938.
I mean, yeah. The basic
like they were
scenery
driving,
was. But.
I would love to see this as a stage play now. Now that you said that, like, I would absolutely love to see this.
It could work as a stage play. It could.
Oh yeah, I think it would be great as a stage play.
Yeah.
I think you could go into the characters more, and you could do fun, silly things with staging wise, and people thinking there's aliens there, and I don't know. I think it could definitely work as a stage play.
I was kind of wondering what the Mafia would do. Why? I mean, you needed to have some Italians in New Jersey. Come on, what would the Mafia do if there were aliens coming too? They would have been ready to roll, man. I would have been great.
I don't think the Mafia had reached out to Jersey.
Not yet? They hadn't been kicked out of New York yet?
They weren't
in the corn at that point.
I feel like there should have been something like that. Yeah, just something. I actually wrote down what would Tony Soprano do.
Yeah, there was no like bad guy in the town trying to take advantage of things, there was no kind of protect. There was no, there was nothing to root against. I mean, the one asshole husband left the whole time, so he didn't have him to root against.
Right.
And the other husband who was getting dumped, he was just kind of a weakling, but he wasn't abusive of any kind. I mean, he just
the other guy was kind of a jerk too. The guy that she made with. I didn't like him.
So I do have a question. If Twitter was around in these days, do you think FDR would be shouting about this fake news?
I was thinking like how we wouldn't fall for, but like we would fall for this again. I mean, if something we fall for fake shit on Twitter all the time.
Fake news is we're always falling for fake news, right? Yeah. I'm not saying not we, the proverbial world.
Like
we.
Someone hears one thing and then they say, "Oh shit," and then they say someone. It's like this is definitely.
It happens all the time.
The only stupid thing is that the people stopped listening to the radio. I think if people just kept listening to the radio, they would have realized it was fake.
Or maybe turn the channel to the next station to see what they're reporting on. That's yeah. If anything, I think it's more of a metaphor about how the media tries to create a narrative and force us to believe it. I think that's actually probably the more apt theme here.
Well, you got to think about what a lot of what Wells and his career was about, and his assault on the media, if you will. Like he was very, very anti-media, and
he didn't like Hearst at all. Jesus.
No, and I think if he looked to see what was going on nowadays, I think he would be more in line with some of the anti-media platforms that are out there. I'm not going to say Breitbart to that extent, but he'd be doing his own.
He would have been thumbing his nose at all of them.
Everything. Yeah.
And I appreciate he was such an experimental artist. He was doing the Harlem Theater. He was working, with African Americans in those days when it wasn't particularly popular. He was doing experiments on the radio like this. He was a pioneer, very much.
Yeah, so. He was in Transformers the movie.
Yeah.
His last role ever.
God bless him.
It was.
I was kind of hoping that Vincent D'Onofrio would reprise his role as Orson Welles in this. Yeah. But Orson Welles was still skinny at the time, so Vincent D'Onofrio now could probably play Orson Welles towards the end of his career, as opposed to.
I like how they had to write around him on Law and Order getting fat. They had to put it into his character somehow.
All right.
I
was gonna say let's do some last thoughts. Let's do the roundup. I think we've kind of covered this movie. And Kelly Gum is super late, but at least she joined us. Please give us a thumbs up, Kelly. We need it.
Get us over the 4-4
thumbs up. It's 5-4 right now. It's 5-4. So hopefully she gives us 6-4. We were tied for a while with 4 upvotes, 4 downvotes. We got 5 now. So Kelly, make it 6, please. I beg of you. Or just downvote us and whatever. Because the interactions, they're all the same.
They are.
It doesn't matter. They help us. The algorithm helps us. Downvote us all you fucking want. I don't care. It still helps people watch our show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although we did say alt-right a few times. That might Google might throw us down a few ranks.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. What if we say alt-right is bad?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
We don't like alt-right.
Yeah.
I'm an alt-middle guy.
Alt-min?
Yeah. Well, Marty is a big fan of the alternative lifestyle. Yes. So.
All right. Last thoughts.
Final thoughts. All right. Okay. Marty. Final thoughts.
I don't, like I said, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I wouldn't, if it was on some kind of free streaming service, I would probably tell you to go watch it. I cannot recommend paying to watch this movie.
Ooh. Abe.
Yeah, I kind of echo Marty's thoughts too.
Who earns?
Yeah. I mean, when it's on Hulu, I don't think it'll hit Amazon or Netflix. When it's on Hulu, watch it.
Leah.
It's like 2 against 2 on this. I spent money on this movie. But I have a 7-day rental, and I'm going to call my parents after this and tell them to watch this movie because I know they will love it. So,
what did you use? I only got a 48 hours on mine. That's bullshit.
Yeah, where did you rent it?
I think
I rented it on Amazon.
Yeah, me too. Is this 7 days?
I think I went Google Play on it.
Oh, I have Prime.
Yeah, I'd have Prime too. Dan did iTunes, right?
I did iTunes.
Yeah, you're a slave to the Apple.
Well, I got the Apple TV, so it's so much easier than me having to hook up another device to my TV, and because Amazon doesn't go well with Apple TV.
So you were drinking your craft beer while you were watching your Apple TV?
Funny enough, Berliner Weiss.
There you go.
Berliner Weiss. So talking about Germans, I guess.
Way to smash those stereotypes, Dan.
No, we spend a lot of money to see a lot of mediocre big budget films in the theaters, and I think spending like $5-6 to see this is totally worth it. And you're supporting independent film, and this guy was his first movie. I think it's important for us to throw some money that way. I love doing these VODs, love them or hate them. I enjoy doing these video on demands because it gives us the ability to watch movies that a lot of people aren't watching. It gives a voice to these movies. I think that's important, that whether we're liking these movies or not, that we're reviewing them as regularly as we are, and giving some feedback. And frankly speaking, we can keep talking about superhero movies all we will, like we will continue to do every single other month when a superhero movie comes out. But I get more personal satisfaction from reviewing independent films and VODs than I do from a lot of these blockbusters. So again, we haven't had a great track record with some of the movies that we've caught on VOD, but I think back to the last few years. Golden July, one of my favorite films, independent film, was a VOD. Living Better Through Chemistry with Sam Rockwell, one of the funniest movies I've seen in so many years. Another VOD.
What was the one with the mold?
Oh yeah,
I love that one.
That was really great as well.
Jeffrey Combs.
With Jeffrey Combs, yeah. Again, another VOD. So I mean, we'll keep doing it. At least once a month we'll probably do a VOD pick, and I think it's always worth throw some money towards these people. So,
Leatherface comes out in October. So
Leatherface comes out in October. So if it's a VOD, we'll probably watch it.
Hell yeah, it is.
Maybe not Marty. So let's close out another episode of the Movies and Stuff show. Please make sure to like or dislike this video, comment in the comment section below, subscribe to us. That is really important to us, is the subscriptions. And again, you subscribe to us, watch us every week, downvote us. I don't fucking care. You also follow us on Instagram and Facebook and on Twitter at Movie Stuff Show. Marty tweets most of the stuff on our Twitter account. We got some Facebook exclusive account. Instagram, it's mostly pictures of me taking my kids to the movies, but she makes funny faces, so it's worth saying that. Leah, thank you so much for joining us once again. You were great.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. What do you got going on since the last time you've been on the show? Anything fun?
Actually, a few things. 2 weeks ago, I filmed 2 different things. Filmed a short episode for Stuck, the web series, and that'll be coming out here in October. You can check it out on Facebook. We were all filming half naked in a hotel room, and a few people walked by and probably thought that we were filming something different and we said it's a web series, and it got taken very wrongly, but it's a great series.
There was no cups involved.
There was no God.
No cups involved. Okay.
Little known fact: Abe does this whole show without pants. So
it's true. I'm not wearing pants right now.
# cargo shorts.
Yes, check out Stuck the web series, and then filmed for another short film called The Robo Mummy, Return of the Robo Mummy Part 7 with Dead Lantern Productions, and that'll premiere at the Prairie Light Festival in Nebraska in October, so come check it out.
Now, do we have to watch all 6 to know what's happening in 7?
I'm not sure where the first 6 are. I don't think they exist, so we don't.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, you feel free to come on a show anytime you want to plug your stuff, and as it gets closer to when the stuff is coming out, make sure that you do come on our show and plug your stuff. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
We're going to be back next Tuesday. We got a brand new show. We're going to talk some movies. We're going to talk some stuff. So until then, Later, everyone. Bye.